a group effort. We're all pitching together to get something done. And you know, when these businesses are looking to relocate, to expand their business or just relocate to a new location, they go through site selectors. So you really have to work with the site selectors to get them involved and show them what you have to offer. And I think we did an excellent job of doing that. Many in this room were involved in some of the meetings and discussions we had while they were in town. And we have, a little later in the meeting, we'll have Rob Miller from the Buxton group. He's a site selector that specializes in retail recruitment. He's going to give a little talk about how he thinks he can help Butte Silver Bowl. And we're looking at hiring that group to hone in on retail recruitment. So at this time, I'll just like some of the team here to explain what they do and how everything is working in Butte Silver Bowl. I'll turn it over to Joe Willauer.
Well, thank you for the introduction, and fortunately I don't need a mic. I spent a lot of years yelling at guys in the middle of a drift boat, and I've pretty well honed my yelling across the point, so happy to be here. First off, thank you so much for coming. It's great to have such a good turnout, standing room only. Clearly you guys saw our signs that said free beer. It was a joke, there's not, but we really appreciate you turning out this evening. So the big impetus we wanted to get behind with our meeting is to share that we have a very strong coordinated effort in terms of economic development in our community. Economic development is an interesting field that it'd be really nice to just have a magic wand and wave it around and say, okay, you know, we need 100 new jobs that pay 25 bucks an hour. Let's put them out at the port. Oh gosh, Herberger's left. Let's get someone in the mall to fix them. And that's not really how it works. It takes a ton of effort. It takes a ton of support. And it's all behind the scene. And so thanks to Chief Executive Palmer's leadership, we sit down once every other Thursday and we talk about those rumors, but more importantly, we talk about what's actually happening, what's coming to town, and how we can put our best foot forward and help bring those businesses to town, as well as support our existing businesses. We're very fortunate. We have a really strong economy locally, and it's headlined by some really good manufacturing companies. We're able to provide them a high level of support through this group that helps them grow jobs. Just this year, Montana Precision has expanded well past their projections through the projects we've assisted them with. We've had numerous organizations that have been able to do that, and it's not things you see all the time. Sometimes it hits the news, sometimes it doesn't, but it's in large part thanks to the work of this group. Those meetings really have been proactive, and I know I've been working in economic development for 6 years in Butte, Silver Bow, and throughout the region, and the amount that we're able to get done thanks to these meetings is incredible. We get calls regularly that are asking for detailed information, things you'd never think about when it comes to citing a business here. And it's always, I think the coolest part for me with our group is when we're able to come together and get information back to them. Site selectors reach out, want very specific details, and timeliness is important to them. If you drag your feet or provide bad information, you're off the chart in a hurry. And thanks to our group, we provide high quality information in an incredibly good format, very professional level materials, typically within 24 to 48 hours, and it doesn't go unnoticed. We get people coming to town because of that, we get great leads because of that, and we get good jobs in our community thanks to this group. So one of the biggest things we do at the BLDC, if you're not familiar with our organization, is to be the community's lead economic development group. We partner with Headwaters, who serves the region, to provide a litany of services to support everything from entrepreneurs to primary sector companies like an MPP or an REC. So if you come in the door, you may meet with the SBDC director at Headwaters with just an idea and say, you know, I've always wanted to start a brewery, and she'll walk you through that process. When it gets to the point that you need a loan, we'll send you to a bank. If you can't get bank financing, you can come back to the BLDC, go through our loan program, and we will help you get your dream off the ground. It is an incredibly rich suite of services. Throughout Montana, we operate on as high a level as anybody, and there's numerous projects throughout our community that you see all the time, frequent all the time, that straight up would not exist if it weren't for the work of economic development. I'm very proud of who we have as staff at both organizations, and it's incredibly exciting, fun work. Like I mentioned earlier, I used to work as a fishing guide, And people, anytime anyone asks me, it's like, well, do you like what you do at the BLDC? I love what I do because I know if I don't, I can go back to fishing. And I know how much I like that. It is a lot of fun. So we wanted to talk about site selectors. Many of you saw the 4 gentlemen we had come in this summer, and they were from all across the country, from a variety of sectors, from transportation, manufacturing, tech, and they really focused their efforts on bringing companies to communities. That's what the site selection process is all about, and that's what those guys came to do. We brought them to town to show them what we have to offer. And the takeaways we had from them were very, very positive. The first thing they mentioned that we all know is we have an incredible resource out at the Montana Connections Park. I don't think it's known well enough what's out there locally. We have 2 different railroads, we have an incredible amount of water, access to power, and when those guys came in, we took them out there, showed them around, and you could definitely see a look of awe, like, wow, this resource is in Butte, Montana. We didn't know about it, now we do. We're going to be sharing that with all of our resources. Another output they had was to think regionally, and it's something between the BLDC and Headwaters we're always doing. In the big picture, we're a small community in a small state. There's only 1 million people in all of Montana. I wish I was up here to say we just landed Amazon HQ2. We did not. Maybe HQ3, we'll see. But we need to be thinking on the regional level, and that was the first piece of advice they gave at the public forum was, in Butte you have 35,000 people, that's a workforce of right around 17,000 people. When you expand to the 7-county region, that gets you up to 85,000 people. It's more employees, it helps you attract bigger players, it helps bring bigger companies to town, and it's a strength you need to be advertising. I've got 2 young kids, so cold season is catching up to me quickly. The second point they had was marketing, and that was one we were very proud to say we are on the forefront of. Through the BEDCC, the Butte Economic Development Coordinating Council, we developed the Butte Elevated campaign. It was awarded the Governor's Tourism, or the Governor's Department of Commerce Best Community Campaign 2 years ago. It encompasses all the work we do. It showcases our community to tourists, new businesses, you name it, anything possibly related to Butte comes through Butte Elevated. And we're very unique in that it's a one-point source. If you look at other communities throughout the state, they have the chamber, they have the CVB, and they have the economic development group, and they have the city. We have one source for all that information. It's very unique and it's very much noted. The site selectors all said that that is a focus you need to be honing in on. You need to be active online. You need to have a rich website. You need to be utilizing social media. And we're doing it. Our social media campaigns through the Butte Elevated site have grown right around 15% in the last 6 months. We have active content all the time. I'm sure all of you follow us on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. If you don't, please do so. That is the most up-to-date source for all things economic development, community development, and a lot of fun. There's all sorts of good things coming out through those sources. The point they really honed in is if we want to be attracting these larger businesses to our community, we need to be utilizing those resources. We need to be thinking big picture, and we need to be putting ourselves out there. As a community, we do incredible things. I don't know anywhere in Montana that accomplishes what Butte does, and we need to be better about sharing that message, and we're certainly working on it. And it was encouraging to hear the site selectors say, you're on the right path, keep going.